I would expect him to do everything with the ones. So today is our high volume day, although we can only be out there from a time constraint for an hour and 45. So, but it'll be a lot of team reps, and I would expect him to take the majority of those.
He doesn't need to ramp up to get to work.
I mean, he's been ramping up. It's just you guys haven't seen it.
So what have we missed behind the scenes, kind of to keep him so he's ready to roll here?
Yeah, he's been throwing every day after practice, and he's had guys catch him for him, and he's been doing a good job with that.
Matt, just seeing what he's put into this the last 4 years, just what does this kind of mean to see him now finally get rewarded and be the?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Anytime you see, especially the progress that he's made, coming in to just, not dressing a whole bunch his rookie year to having that first start versus Kansas City and didn't go the way any of us wanted it, but just to see that steady, consistent approach, a steady progression, those incremental improvements. I was talking to Wallers about this. I think we've seen a lot of flashes. He always had the talent. There's a reason he was drafted in the first round. The talent was always there. It's just the consistency which he would go out there and perform. Obviously, there's a lot to learn when you come to this level, not only fundamentally for the quarterback, but from a protection standpoint and having complete command of the offense. We do a lot of different things. I could see a different, I don't want to say a different approach, but I felt like he was, as time went on, he got more and more intentional about his work, and you could see him learning and doing different things each and every day. But for us, I would say that 22 season, you could just see more and more from him in regards to, I thought he had a pretty good, although the numbers didn't say it, I thought he had a pretty good preseason in terms of how we evaluate the quarterback, and it's all process-based, not result-based. And then what he would do in scout team periods, I thought he did a great job of putting a lot of stress on our defense and making throws. And quite frankly, I think that's when you can experiment as a quarterback and learn about the things that you can and can't get away with. And he was just, really diligent and super intentional about the work he put in.
When did you, along those lines, when did you conclude that, this is our guy?
Well, like I just said, I think, we felt obviously pretty comfortable with him after that 22 season and to move forward. And, I think even last year, early on, obviously the season started out great versus Chicago, and then we had a couple setbacks. But I think it was just there was like many people, many quarterbacks or many younger players in this league, there's some inconsistencies that can show up. But the thing that's so impressive about him is just how resilient he is. Like, never gets phased, just continues to fight. And I think that says a lot about him. And I think that's a big reason why we're standing here today talking about him, is just the resiliency that he has and the kind of teammate he is and the work that he's going to put in. So, it's awesome to see him get rewarded for that.
I don't know if this would change your answer or not, but your guy is in the sense of that he's worth this, contract that makes him, one of the highest paid guys.
Yeah, I thought, it's hard to argue that anybody played better the back half of the season last year. I did a lot of great things, and I think even going through our struggles, we were probably better for it going through some struggle. I think most people are. You go through some struggle, you stay resilient, you come out the other side, you're usually better for it. And I think there's a lot of growth and learning along the way. And, the back half of the season, he played as well as anybody in the league.
What's the next step for him to kind of build on that success he had late last season, and where can he get even better?
Well, I just think that, I mean, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. I don't care what level you're at. There's always, in my opinion, there's always something more that you can achieve. And I think it's just getting out there and, like we talked about earlier, just being consistent and, you know, taking what the defense is giving you and try to make everybody around you better. And I think what he's got such a great command of right now is he's got such an unbelievable command of our offense. He knows all the details, the ins and outs. He can help the other guys. He can coach the other guys up on the field, and it's pretty impressive.
Have you at any point, maybe during the offseason, just taken a moment and recognized, I mean, to go from Aaron to Jordan, that just doesn't happen in this league. You see teams go into the abyss of quarterback play for decades. Like, have you kind of taken a moment to realize how special that is?
Yeah, I think, I mean, there's incredible talent coming in this league each and every year. I just think, you know, a lot of these guys get put into some situations that it's going to be tough for anybody to go in there and overcome, whether they have talent around them or a lot of them aren't quite frankly, aren't ready to play ball. And so I think if you just look at the history, whether it was Jordan or Aaron or shoot, even Pat Mahomes sat his rookie year for the majority of it. I think, would he have one start? I think there's a lot of benefit to allowing these guys to come in this league to try to soak it all in and not play too early. I mean, I was with Kirk Cousins and saw the benefits of that in Washington. So I think there's a lot of good examples across the league of guys coming in, kind of waiting their turn a little bit and learning enough and hopefully building up your roster around these guys so they can go out there and have success, because it's not all about the quarterback. You can't do it by yourself. It's not like basketball where a guy can just go and dominate a game, although we have seen guys be able to do that to some level. But, I mean, you got 10 other men out there on the field with you, and if they're not playing, if the play around you is not great, it's hard for you to be great.
Speaking of that, how hard has it been to evaluate your quarterback play, given that the defensive front is causing some major issues for your offense?
Yeah, I love seeing that. I love seeing it. That hopefully our defense up front is as good as I think they can be, and so yeah, it's definitely a challenge. I think the D-line are pushing our O-line to get better each and every day. It'll be really interesting now that we have pads. I think it takes on a whole new dynamic. It's more real football. You know, it's easier to, quite frankly, it's easier to grab onto some cloth when you got pads on, and so it'll be interesting to see how our O-line responds over the course of the next few weeks.
I know you knew this was close, and I know you were eager for it to get done. How did this play out for you last night? You know, I know you were in the loop, but how did it kind of play out yesterday evening?
Yeah, well, Waller sent me a text message that it got out, so it got out before I even knew it was official.
Matt, how do you think Jordan will handle being the face of the organization? You know, one of the highest paid players in the league, and you know, do you need more from him from a leadership standpoint, from being more outspoken?
I think he's done a really good job with that, but I think it goes back to whom much is given, much is expected, and that's just the reality of our league. And but I think he'll embrace that. I don't think you'll see a difference in the person, and I don't think we would do something like that if we felt that way. And so I think he's been raised the right way. I always joked about him, if he ever changes, I'm going to call his mom. And but he's been raised the right way. I think he's about the right stuff, and his teammates really certainly respect him. They respect the man. They respect the work he puts in. They were fired up today to have him back in the fold.
You get to talk to him last night?
Yeah, I FaceTimed him. As soon as I found out, I FaceTimed him right away, and I don't think you could wipe that smile off his face. He was pretty happy.
What was that moment like for you, and what did you have to say to him after it finally goes through?
I mean, I just congratulated him, just, again, about the perseverance, the work he's put in, and just really happy for him, his family. I mean, that's a different kind of wealth now. So, but shoot, he's earned it, and we're excited.
Matt, what did you find out about Sean during these 4 days? He was explaining to us, like, the pick he threw behind Wicks and it got deflected. That ball's supposed to go backside to 𝙤𝙤, and he had not thrown that play before. And then you guys called it again in the next 11-on-11, and he hit 𝙤𝙤 on 3rd and 4. Like, I know he didn't have the results maybe that he would have liked for a lot of the plays, but did you find out something more about a guy who, if you look around the league, most guys don't play every single game as starters, that stuff happens. Did you find out some things about him that you didn't know, or?
No, I think last year, just going back and watching how he responded in that Cincinnati preseason game, I think he threw a pick six, and then he comes back and leads the team down for a score, and I think that, you know, kind of is a testament to who he is and what he's all about, and you know, to me, it's about the learning and the development, and you know, if you make a mistake, can you learn from it and not make the same mistake twice? So, you know, we're still super high on him. We're not down on any of these guys. We know it's a process, and I know we all want those instantaneous results, but many times that's not reality. So we're going to keep on chipping away and try to push these guys to get better and better each day.
Having Jordan back in the mix at training camp, what does that do for your football team?
I think, yeah, it makes us more whole. We're still missing a couple guys, but anytime he's one of the leaders on this team. I think he showed great leadership last year, and so it kind of comes with the position naturally, and so I think it'll certainly give everybody a boost, not just the offense, but I think the defense as well.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.